I'll take the gear down and the landing checklist. Speed checks.
Forward vector number 2, follow Gulfstream jet on a 1 mile left base. Use caution, wake turbulence, runway 25, clear to land.
Every year, Prem Rawat takes personal responsibility for flying himself as captain and pilot on journeys which will cover over 100,000 miles. Free from the restrictions of normal routes and schedules, he can travel to fulfill a personal vision which has been the focus of his life for the last 42 years.
When I met him, he'd just come from India. It was 1971. He was 13 years old. And he came with a declaration that he wanted to take this message to the rest of the world. He had 1 or 2 people alongside him, and that was it.
It's a huge undertaking. He's one person. The world is full of 6 or 7 billion people, and he's really trying to reach any one of those 6 or 7 billion people who really want to know what contentment means in their life. He's been doing it since he was 8 years old. He's now 50, and his life has been completely and solely dedicated to that. That's really remarkable.
When you turn within and feel what's within you, what comes next? Joy. Joy. The human heart is filled with joy.
There are so many people out there. There's so many thirsty people, so many people longing to know what is that thing I'm looking for, you know? And it's that thing that I felt from the time I was a young child, you know, that Raji's satisfied for me.
It's a unique voice in this world that tells you that truly what you're looking for is inside of you. It's not even to be found in a book that says what you're looking for is inside of you. But it's like a mirror that he holds up, that person can see or feel the beauty of himself.
So, have you found the source of the endless joy? Because the source of the endless joy is not far from you.
He talks something so absolutely fundamental in myself, and he keeps talking about it until I start to see it in myself.
It's like an awakening. And you don't necessarily remember exactly what he said, but what he said seems to have penetrated right here. And he touches that part of you that no one else on this earth touches. For me, anyway. No one speaks like him.
In an average year, Prem Rawat, or Maharaji as he's more commonly known, will speak at over 90 different meetings and events all around the world. He will also help tens of thousands of people embark on their own personal journeys of self-discovery by enabling them to learn and practice techniques which he calls knowledge.
Working on the schedules, it's really interesting because the need around the world is totally amazing. We sit down and we work on it, and he begins, these are basically my invitations. And then from those invitations, he would work out, so this is the order I would like to do it in. Can we do it? And then we go out and find out do we have the halls available? Can we actually physically go there and do the event? Do we have enough help there? Are the event teams ready for us to come there and start planning?
I think that's enough information.
It becomes immediately apparent that the calendar year is not sufficient. And we are not talking about by a little, but by a lot. That really the year should be more like a 3-year calendar.
Well, just...
The decision-making process has always been very personal in a way. He knows where he needs to go. And it's governed by a feeling of what the people there need. All the other planning and all the other metrics that have been attempted always seem to be a very poor second choice to just this feeling of, I need to go there.
A1, rotate. Great. Yeah.
It never would have dawned on me that some of his days would be 12, 13, 14-hour days. But being around and seeing some of his days go into 14, 15-hour days and then moving into different time zones. Yes, I knew that he was involved in flying the plane, but I didn't know how much effort went into the work that needs to be done before you actually fly. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, that he needs to review, then he physically has to get out to the aircraft and then fly for however many hours. You land at an airport and then you end up in a hotel. Many people around the world don't know what he has to go through to get on that stage and be in that chair. There's so much that happens, and it's so intensive on his part.
The time that I saw him the most tired was basically in Mexico last year. The event was beautiful because he put so much energy into the event. He did most of the work because we hardly had any videos to actually show, so he did all the work at that event. But even when he got there, we just had an intensive tour. We'd just been to Amaru, we did Fiji, and then we flew straight away over to Mexico and did the Mexico event. It was very, very tiring. And you could see it in his face. He was extremely, extremely tired. But he still went on stage. He still gave the magnificent speech that I've ever heard. It was amazing. And he was just right there. I was shocked that he actually did, because he could even hardly open his eyes. That's how tired I could see him.
This knowledge works because it does not go for the mind. It does not go against religion. It doesn't try to put new concepts. It just says your heart. That's the only domain that will be touched.
He's wanting to actually see the person face to face to speak to them. It's just that to me is one of the biggest drives that he has, is the willingness to go to that person, give him the possibility of something wonderful. It's amazing. And that's what really drives him.
Where there is a will, there is a way. And this time when I didn't get through, I felt very frustrated. Because it's like, well, what do you need? What do we need to do to make this happen? We have contacts. We have Peter Wild. We could have called Peter Wild up and say, hey, can you help us out? We need to do a program at this place. Sure would. Love to.
All the time you're struck by his focus, by his own discipline, that he has a very disciplined life. And it's also very thoughtful, it's very well thought out. Every step's thought out. And it's always to one end. It's to benefit that relationship that I have with him and that everyone else has with him. And that knowledge is highlighted and is a clear thing for everyone who comes into contact with him.
Growing up, he traveled, and sometimes we got to travel with him, which was always really fun. And, sometimes, for the most part, he's gone about 3/4 of the year. But I missed him a lot growing up. And I know he missed us. I know he missed us a lot too. And that is proof to me of his commitment, And also just, this is what he was doing when my parents met. I know that they talked before they started a family, and my dad was very clear, this is, spreading this message is what I'm here to do. And, to my mom, he was like, I love you, I want to have a family with you, but this is going to come first. And my mom has really been incredibly strong in taking on so much of the burden of raising a family and really being a partner with him in that.
That part of it, that part of making that decision is up to them.
I think the main thing that characterizes the way he's doing his work is spontaneity and fluidness and the willingness to change and flow and adapt to make it better. Never, I've seen 2 years in a row that's been the same exact formula, that he seems to want to keep it fresh, keep it alive, never make anything about this a religion or a fixed in stone thing. But as he sees what could be better, he changes it. And that's powerful, and it's not always easy, because you have to break the molds, break the ideas, break the concepts.
I see that he has a very clear vision of how his message needs to be disseminated and presented to the world. And a lot of times people who are ostensibly helping him do that have a different vision. And, you know, he's very patient with all of us in getting us to, if not see his vision, at least to let go of our own.
I'm really hoping that we can break this cookie cutter approach momentum and go far more basic in terms of events, so that we can go to these places and do the events.
He wants to go to Cambodia, Bali, all these places. And it's not like if he moves and he goes somewhere else and he's doing another event, he's not thinking about them. He is. He's always thinking about how he can go there. Belfast was an interesting one, actually. There's no halls available, and Kath gets this call that there's a Chinese restaurant in Belfast that is available. And we both look at each other and think, a restaurant?
I think just kind of a talk to Maraji or expression kind of setting, that would be really nice with 500 people.
Yes.
And I think that would work.
So from your side, we'll just wait to hear from you, or?
No, go ahead announce it.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Raji.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. We can announce it. Yeah! Okay. Now I get to call them and tell them.
The process, being alive, is living. Feeling. Not from here, but from here. This is okay. This is the best. I'll remind people of this for as long as I'm alive. I will go places that I can. People will come. People will listen.
He saw this need of, every time he did an event in Delhi, all these people would have to travel for days and days even. You know, even people would walk for days and days just to go to that one event. It was an amazing toll on everybody else's body. But then he saw this possibility of, why don't I go to them? Why don't I go to the villages? And it was amazing when he did it. Physically, it meant that he would be traveling from event to event. Some events, when the helicopter wasn't available, he had to go by car. It would mean he would be on a car journey 8 or more hours. And that's on Indian roads. That's horrendous. They're told that that's on a person's body, traveling on those horrible roads.
He would get up, I'm not exactly sure what hour, but I'm pretty sure it would be before dawn, and review the weather briefings I sent him for the day, and go out to his helicopter and do his pre-flight, load up all the equipment and so on, and fly his helicopter for an hour or two to some remote locations. It's extremely hot, hazy, not an ideal situation weather-wise. He would be at an event by like 9 or 10 in the morning to avoid the heat of the afternoon and speak to, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people.
और हर मोड़ पे जहां हमको जरूरत है अपनी दिशा देखने की वहां वो मौजूद हो और हमारा मार्गदर्शन करे.
Then he would go back over to his helicopter and fly on to the next base, spend the night, and then get up and literally do the same thing every other day. And he did that for 2 months straight.
He's so concerned that everybody who comes has a good time, it's really done well. Whatever detail is required, he's really involved in it. Whether it's the microphone that he uses, whether it's the speakers that's being used, whether it's why is it taking so long for the public to come in? Is there enough water for the public? Are there a number of toilets for the public? Does public have enough information about the event? And what happens afterwards? He's very thorough about it. He wants to make sure every minute of it is enjoyable.
When we were doing the events in Delhi, he wanted cafes, he wanted people to come and have hot milk, children to be taken care of, he wants a full meal. It was amazing the detail he went into. At one point we were feeding everyone within 15 or 20 minutes. And then he says, okay, now we can give them yogurt. Now we can give them salad. And we started making yogurt, we started serving salad. And this is, 40,000 people.
There is something real in you.
As well as the continuous round of face-to-face events, Maharaji works hard to make maximum use of all the different media for communication.
It's the beauty within you.
Through the creative use of television, the internet, and the many different forms of publishing, Maharaji is now reaching millions more people all around the world.
I think even as a child he saw his father, doing interviews on radio or using radio and maybe film at that stage, and definitely, he's grown up with the cameras on him his whole life, and he's learnt a lot because of that. What can people watch? What can they really take in? How to use the media in an appropriate manner. Content is always absolute with him, but style and then how it's seen and that, definitely he's experimenting with that. Definitely he grows with it, tries one thing. Is there a better way of doing it?
You are alive. And so far you are alive, you can feel. What would you like to feel? Somebody said bliss, somebody said love. You can feel both.
Using media to present his message is, in a sense, a packaging to the message. And yeah, you could wrap a diamond in like a dirty paper sack. It's still a diamond in there, but you're gonna have it's gonna be a lot harder to convince someone to open it up. And I think that he wants the packaging, at least the media packaging, to fit the magnitude of the message that he's presenting to the world.
My objective is to be in peace. And I love when I can bring others to that peace as well.
He's definitely using television, he's definitely using the internet, he's definitely using other elements of the electronic media and multimedia to help the message. He's actually really thinking, okay, what's the next step? How do we really take this global? How do we create television 24/7, if necessary, about this message?
You have the ability to feel happy.
On the Ghana National Television, from south to north to east to west, people can listen to him at least once a week, every Wednesday.
Today we have a broadcast in India. We broadcast 16 hours a day in 12 regional languages, and we have an audience of approximately 700,000 people who watch it every month, new people.
Maharaji asks all those who want to learn and practice the techniques of knowledge to first become involved in a process of preparation. This enables them to develop their own understanding of the significance of knowledge, its potential place in their lives, and how Maharaji can help them on their own personal journey of self-discovery.
He spent 5 months creating the keys, which is the process of learning and about your thirst, learning about knowledge, learning about what he's all about, and then receiving knowledge through the very beautiful series he created.
What was extremely clear was, and I remember him telling me this, I want to make these in such a way that every person who watches them feels that I am personally taking them through this process, personally taking them on this journey to receive knowledge.
This isn't about your ability. If breath comes into you, you're good to go. If that joy comes into you,
He wanted to feel like he was sitting in their living room, speaking directly to them. And so that's how we shot it. We shot it in a way, it was all set up with the camera and everything, so that that would be the end result, because it is such a personal thing. He came in and worked with us every single day. He would come in at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning and leave at 6:30 at night. It was really an incredible thing to watch. The care, the incredible care and the attention to detail. And it was great for me because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist myself, and I feel sometimes like it drives people crazy. But it was really wonderful to see that in Raji and to see it from a different perspective. Wow, the attention to detail and the care that he put into that project. It was very special.
The creation of the keys has enabled Maharaji to personally help many more people all around the world explore and discover the beauty of their own lives.
One person in Chile, she lived in a very poor neighborhood. She was sick. She was in bed with oxygen tanks. She couldn't travel anywhere. And Maharaji made it very clear, if there are people like that, you have to go and take care of them. So there we went to this place. Really simple house, and they were very nice, tried to make the place really nice, brought some food and whatever for us. And there she was just lying down there in her bed. And we put a projector and, the computer, and she received knowledge right there. And it was just, she was so grateful.
For the next 25 years, everything is set. We have so much material.
As far as Maharaji is concerned, his work is not finished when someone has completed the keys and been shown the techniques of knowledge. He is committed to supporting them with inspiration and guidance in a process of discovery which can last for the rest of their lives.
Somehow the journey continues, that relationship, that what he's taught you and what he's shown you, he keeps showing you greater depths of it. He works with you for you to explore those depths of it. And, going to an event or seeing him whenever I can, or watching a video of him or watching him on television or that, allows me on my own to explore what it is he's shown me. I mean, this is not a shallow thing. This is something you'd spend your life doing, and I hope I do.
It is that connection between him and another human being is where the magic happens. From that comes the clarity, from that comes the understanding, from that comes the experience of joy to enjoy this life. I mean, you see it, you feel it, and you understand it all in one fell swoop with that connection.
I have talked many times in my bedroom to you, hundreds of times, and what should I say? And I want, before the other half of my life is gone by, and maybe I have never a chance to talk to you again. I just want to thank you. And nobody talks to me like this, and nobody says the things that you say. And how I cannot have any words for giving you back what you have given to my life. I want to thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Enjoy, and it gets more and more beautiful. This is its nature. This is the nature of joy. Joy is a flower that keeps unfolding, keeps unfolding, keeps unfolding, keeps unfolding. It's more beautiful, more beautiful, more beautiful, more beautiful. There's no end to this process. Somebody, one of the sages from India, said that this is what is infinite. This is the manifestation of that infinite in your life, is joy.
If all I'd done was receive knowledge and been left alone to explore it, I'd still be more grateful than I am for anything in my life. The fact that his effort continues to enable me to get the most that I can out of knowledge is more than the frosting on the cake of gratitude.
I forget so often that there is beauty in my life. I don't know why. It's just, should be remembering this so easily, right? But it's so easy to forget. And his care and love has made a huge impact for me.
I saw firsthand in such a clear way his absolute dedication to bringing this message to people who really have a thirst in their heart to know themselves. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. It was just so clear everybody was having a great time. And that's what I remember, the energy that went into that whole project. It was a very happy energy. We worked very, very hard under a tight deadline. We were quite tired, but we had so much fun doing it, and there was so much love in the process.
If somebody cares for another person's happiness to the point of dedicating one's life to ensure that that opportunity is available, it can only be a matter of love. Where would that care come from? Where would that want come from? To care so much about other human beings that he doesn't even know.
The passion. I've seen him when he's so concentrated before he goes onto the stage. So concentrated backstage. He's so concentrated before he goes on stage. And then when he's actually on stage, he gives this amazing speech. And it's not written down anywhere. It just really comes from his heart. And then when he comes backstage, he's so happy. He's so happy, and it's amazing. It's totally amazing. And I think that's where it comes from. It's just that he's felt that he's reached people in a beautiful way.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the one who has shown us what is really worth celebrating.
There have only been two constants in my life. One is the change. It has been constant. And the other is this desire to be fulfilled, to be content, to be happy, to be in that place of joy that I have been shown, to feel the feeling of the heart filled with gratitude again and again, and that is one of those things. A heart welling up with gratitude, you will never ever grow tired of it, regardless of how many times it has happened in your life.
What he does is he transforms people's lives, including mine. And to say it in words doesn't mean anything, but it's a feeling. And I feel like I still have a long way to go in terms of digging deeper and really, really understanding and appreciating and learning what he's saying. But the good thing is learning never stops.
The opportunity in my life to have this feeling, I would hope and wish to any human being they could have that level of gratitude and thankfulness and appreciation for their life and for the person that allowed that to happen in their life.
What it really means to me is a real thank you to find a person in this world of war and tyranny and things, to actually find a person in this world that actually has so much passion for the person itself. He brings humanity back into humans, for me anyway. He brings the humanity side of me back into me, and for me to actually be able to experience that and to actually see him, I'm in awe. I'm in real awe.
All the adversity that he faced, all the stumbling blocks, so many such intensely personal ones and such public ones. And the way that he's just forged ahead with so much courage and so much vision is really, really astounding to me and phenomenal.
To me, it's the hardest job on this planet. Trying to awaken humanity to what is truly here. It's the hardest job. There's no other job like it. And he certainly works at it day after day, hour after hour, every day, non-stop. Ever since I've known him.